So Tommy, tell me about this project of yours. It sounds amazing. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, me too. It's called Deadly Cheer Mom. Basically, it follows the life of this teenage girl who is the cheerleading captain. Her name is Beth, which is the role that I play. And she basically has these videos made of her drinking, smoking. And Beth is a really good girl. She's never done anything like this. She's in high school. She gets good grades. Her mom is the coach. My mom is actually played by Mina Savari. And essentially she kind of has to clear her name and figure out how she's going to make herself okay in the eyes of the school, in the eyes of these colleges that want to recruit her. And she kind of goes on this journey of trying to figure out how to prove that these videos aren't real, which is hard to do because they're videos.
Exactly. Yeah. And I feel like this is a huge problem that's happening now, especially with the young kids.
Yeah, it's scary. It's really scary because videos are, I feel like somebody sees a video and immediately it's very easy to be like, oh, that must be true, it's a video. But now they've got all these things like, you can alter these videos and make them look like they're something that they're not, which is very scary.
It really is. I mean, we didn't have any of this back in my day. I feel like I sound so old. I'm actually the same age as Mina Suvari almost. So she and I are around the same age, and
Mhm.
it's just like I remember growing up with that. We had none of this, and now I'm scared for these kids.
Yeah, it's really scary. We had a lot of talks on set about it too, about like how rough that must be. High school is already challenging in itself, just growing up and figuring out who you are and who you want to hang out with and who you want to be known as. But to, slap on fake videos and altered images on all that, it's tricky.
It really is. So, how did you prepare for a role like this, since it is so challenging to deal with?
Beth was a very delicate character for me to play, just because I feel like Beth's character in itself, and I had a lot of, chats with the director about this and everything. Beth herself, she's very, very strong. But she's also a kid. And I remember being that age. And I remember, trying to, when things like that happen in high school, everybody has things happen to them in high school, that are like, what do I do about this? Like, whether it's somebody spreading a rumor or, there's so many things that can happen. And, it's definitely an emotional place to tap into where she's a strong girl, but she's just a kid. She really shouldn't have to be going through any of this. But so I really talked to the director and everything about, make keeping her strong, but also keeping that, childlike vulnerability, which is very important to keep because, I want kids who, are in high school and maybe have rumors going around about them to be able to watch this and, kind of relate to this character in more ways than one.
Exactly. And what about working with Mina Suvari, who, of course, played your mom? Did you guys bond over the set? How did she prepare you? Did she give you any advice for being in the acting business as a young lady?
I could honestly talk for 2 hours and I could not say enough amazing things about Mina. Okay, so I have a cute little story. So when I found out that I was going to be, in this movie with Mina, all my mom's friends were like, because I tell my mom tells her friends, and it's a,
Yes.
she's great at being the proud mom. She does that very well. But they were all like, tell us what she's like, tell us what she's like, and I was like, okay. So I get into my fitting, and her fitting was right before mine, and I see her there, and I was like, oh, hi, you're my mom, right? And she goes, yes. And she goes, are you comfortable with me hugging you? And I was like, yeah. And it was so sweet. And she gave me the biggest hug. And immediately, like, that's the thing about Mina is she has this incredible gift where she makes everyone who she's talking to feel like the most important person in the world. And I mean, and that's a really special thing to encounter, and she's just, I mean, to this day, she texts me about roller skates all the time. Like we have this ongoing texting about roller skates. But because she loves roller skating, and I told her that I want to go with her, and she has this adorable, adorable baby right now. But she's just an incredible human being. She, there were multiple times on set that she was like, "Hey, Tommi, like, if you ever want to run a scene, if you ever have any questions about how you want to do something, like, just run it by me." She is just, I mean, like I said, I literally could not say enough positive things about her. She is so incredible in the professional world and in the personal world. And I admire her in every single way possible.
That is incredible. And what's one thing you want people to learn from the movie? I know it deals with a lot of hot topics. Which one thing you want the viewers to take away from it?
Ooh, I definitely think that the most important thing to take away from this movie is I honestly feel like the most important is to really, really make sure that the people that you keep around you are people that you trust. I think it's very easy to, be forced into, okay, well, I'm a cheerleader, so I have to hang out with cheerleaders, or I'm a theater kid, so I have to hang out with theater kids, or I'm a jock, I have to hang out with jocks. Like, I think it's really important that you really, really are careful with who you let into your heart, who you let into, and not to disclude anybody. I don't want to be like, don't let too many people into your friend group, but I think it's very important to really make sure that the people that you call your friends are people who have your best interest at heart.
Absolutely, yes. And you're wise. I have to say, you're wise beyond your years, Tommi.
Oh,
I
thank
mean,
you.
it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And I'm partial to your middle name, Rose. That's my goddaughter's middle name.
Oh, it's actually my last
Oh,
name.
yes, it is. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
no,
Yeah.
everybody thinks it's my middle name. My middle name is actually Jane, so it's Tommi Jane Rose.
That's so cool. That is such a
Thank
cool
you.
name. It's like a badass name. I love it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. My parents did a pretty good job with that one. I've always been a fan of my name.
Yes, and nobody has it, so you're quite unique there.
Thank you. Thank you. I love it.
Nice. So what else are you working on? Any other projects on the horizon?
Yes, yes. I have a few things that I don't think I'm allowed to talk about yet, but I can tell you one thing that I'm very, very excited about. I actually write and release music. So I have a song coming out March 31st. It's called LAX. And I'm very, very excited about it. I always say that, like, the next song that I put out is my favorite, but because it's always the most exciting, but I am very excited about it. So that's kind of where all my energy is going right now, is into, really that song, because I've been working on it for such a long time. I've been working on it for about a year now, and it's finally, being released into the public. So I'm very excited about that.
Very nice. So how long have you been working on music for?
Ooh, I've been singing, like, I think before I could talk. Because I actually started in musical theater, but I've been singing forever. I started writing songs when I was around 14. I did it when I was younger, like silly ones, like the monster under the bed, like really, really silly ones. But I started actually getting serious about it when I was freshman year in high school, actually, which kind of ties back into the whole, figuring out how to deal with, crazy stuff like this and being strong and vulnerable at the same time. When I was in high school, music was very much my coping mechanism for anything. Whether I had the best day of my life or the worst day of my life, it was music. Like, I would just, I'd grab my ukulele and I'd, write some lyrics, and that was when I started writing, just to kind of, I think it helped me deal with things, whether they were good or bad. And then I started releasing music in 2020. Yeah, because it gave me some time to, really focus on that, because I hadn't had, I'd been on set constantly, so I didn't really have time to, actually put any, real time into releasing music. But I started releasing it, yeah, which is 2 years ago now, which is crazy.
Wow, that's incredible. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes. And one thing I like asking people I interview is tell me a fun fact about yourself.
Ooh. Oh man. Okay. Let me think. Oh, This is literally just the first thing that came to mind. But I am allergic to gluten. So I started baking like over the past year. Because I just found out that I was allergic to gluten.
Right,
My
right,
whole
right.
life didn't know. So I started baking in the past year, and I'm like obsessed with that. That's like my new thing that I'm doing constantly. Like my friends and I are gonna get together for St. Patrick's Day, and like I'm already planning like the cake that I'm making. Like that. So I guess that's my fun little fact is I bake now. So
What's your favorite thing to bake?
like stuff that's not good for you. Like cake and like I love making like my friends like birthday cakes and like, you know, holiday stuff. And I made like these little cake pops that were, you know, looked like jack-o'-lanterns for Halloween.
That's so
I
cute.
Yeah, I really enjoy doing that kind. Honestly, like anything creative, I just love sinking my little claws into. That's just kind of my thing.
Beautiful. And since we're also a TV site, what are you watching these days?
Ooh, man. I am currently watching New Girl and Parks and Rec for the 3000th time. um, my mom and I think we've watched both of those way too many times, but that's what I'm currently watching is those two. So yeah.
Nice. And what would you consider to be your guilty pleasure TV show or movie?
Ooh, I'll tell you exactly what it is. My guilty pleasure is definitely like cartoons.
Nice.
I'm like super into cartoons. And literally like anything along those lines is I think like part of it is the fact that since I am an actress and I know, you know, what goes on behind the scenes, and I know like, okay, like, you know, sometimes I watch a scene on TV and I'm like, oh wow, like the lighting in that scene is really good, or like, oh, I like what she did with that with that dialogue, you know, which it kind of takes you out of it sometimes a little bit. So cartoons are kind of like my guilty pleasure because I can really like immerse myself in them because I don't have to think about, you know, the technicalities of it. So I love any kind of cartoons. I love, you know, all of it. Like I've seen every single animated movie that I think has ever existed. So
Ah, beautiful. And where can we follow you on social media so we can continue to follow your career? We could, I can promote your music, all that.
oh, thank you. Yeah. It's just Tommi Rose, TommiRose. It's that pretty much across everything. So
Beautiful. Well, Tommy, it was a pleasure to speak to you. Good luck. I'm so proud of you, and I can't wait to talk to you again soon.
thank you so much. It was so great to talk to you.
Likewise, we'll talk again soon.
Great. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.